Okay, hold on to your hats, folks, because we are diving deep into the 2024 VP debate.
Oh, yeah. This one is a big one.
Harris versus Trump, round two.
Round two.
And let me tell you, just reading through the transcript, it is electric.
Yeah, you can feel it, right?
It's like somebody pumped the room full of political adrenaline.
Oh, yeah. It's palpable. The tension, even just reading it, and you can imagine with a live audience. Wow.
I know, right?
Like a clash of titans.
It really was. And you know where it starts for me?
Where?
That handshake.
With a handshake.
You know the one I'm talking about?
The one.
Even the ABC anchors were buzzing about it afterward for good reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like she was sending a message.
Like right out of the gate.
I'm here to win.
Yeah, body language is everything in these things. And she came to play.
Exactly. And of course, Trump countered with that, his signature assertiveness.
Oh, yeah.
And he immediately paints this picture of America in decline,
Classic.
really trying to tap into that anxiety.
Playing to his base for sure.
Exactly.
Big time.
And he kept coming back to immigration.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. He wove it into almost every topic we're talking about, the economy crime.
Oh, yeah. He tied it all in.
And you've got to hand it to him. He knows how to connect with a certain segment of voters.
Oh, absolutely.
Who really respond to that kind of message that really taps into that anxiety about national identity and, economic insecurity and all of that.
Right. Stoking those fears.
Yes, exactly. And it didn't stop there. He even connected immigration to the 2020 election results.
Oh, wow.
Which,
It's a bold move.
talk about a bold move even for him. But here's the thing. ABC's fact checkers were on it.
Okay.
They were on high alert, and they called out some of his claims,
Good.
particularly some of the things he was saying about Springfield, Ohio as misleading,
Interesting. Okay.
which is really important for you listening because it just highlights how crucial it is to be a critical consumer of information,
Yes.
especially during an election cycle.
Absolutely. Be informed. That's the message.
Exactly. And I don't know if you remember this, but he went on this whole thing about immigrants harming pets.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Remember that?
It was a whole thing.
Yeah. The city manager even came out and debunked that one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But Trump doubled down.
Wow. He doubled down.
It was almost like he wanted to believe it regardless of what the evidence said.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it just makes you wonder, in such a politically charged environment like we're in right now, how much do facts even matter anymore?
Right.
It's like emotion is almost more important than evidence.
Yeah. It seems like it sometimes.
Right. And both Harris and Trump are masters at leveraging that.
Oh, yeah. Playing to the heartstrings, right?
Yes, exactly. And you can see that playing out in how they talk about the economy.
Absolutely.
Trump loves to go back to that whole deal-making image,
Right.
He boasts about those tariffs. Like, he got China to pay billions of dollars.
Yeah. He loves that.
And did you catch how he talks about it? When he's talking about, like, the Taliban leader, he's like, oh, yeah, I told Abdul.
Oh, God.
Like, they're like,
on a first name basis.
yeah, like just casual business acquaintances, right?
Right. Like it's nothing,
Yeah, it's all very strategic.
Right. Got to make those deals.
He's the ultimate deal maker.
Right.
And, you have to admit, it's a strategy that works.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of voters, especially those who feel like America's kind of lost its edge
For sure. It makes sense.
on the world stage, and, public opinion on the whole Afghanistan withdrawal, still pretty divided.
Yeah. Very.
So that image of strength and decisiveness, it definitely carries weight with a certain segment,
Oh, absolutely.
the electorate. But then you have Harris, and she takes a very different approach.
Yeah. Much more.
She's really emphasizing her commitment to working people.
Right. She's really hitting that home.
Right, talking about affordable housing, supporting small businesses, bringing down the cost of living.
Yeah. Everyday issues.
It's a lot more grounded, wouldn't you say?
For sure. It's relatable.
Right, exactly.
People understand those things.
It's less about that kind of like strongman persona and more about...
Right. It's more about collaboration and, actually trying to fix these problems.
Exactly, practical solutions.
Yeah.
For everyday people. And I also noticed she does not let Trump get away with some of his more,
Oh, no. She calls him out.
the inflammatory remarks.
Yes, she does.
Like, for example, when he brought up the Central Park 5 case.
Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Which, if anyone needs a reminder, that was that racially charged case from decades ago. 5 young men wrongly accused and convicted
Right. A huge deal.
of a brutal attack. And she shut that down immediately,
Good.
called it out for exactly what it was.
Trying to stir the pot.
An attempt to stir up those racial anxieties, those divisions.
Exactly.
And, it was a risk for Trump.
For sure, a gamble.
Playing to a very specific part of the electorate.
Right.
But it really highlights that core difference between the two of them. Their visions of justice and equality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally different. And speaking of visions, they had very different things to say about healthcare.
Oh, yeah. That's always a big one.
Huge. And, Trump, he went back to his usual playbook, bashing government insurance, railing against the Affordable Care Act.
Of course.
Wants to see it dismantled.
Right. Get rid of it completely.
But Harris, on the other hand, she emphasized her commitment to strengthening those systems.
Interesting.
Highlighted how important it is to protect people with pre-existing conditions.
Which is huge for people.
Huge for millions of Americans. And, healthcare, always a hot button issue.
Oh, yeah, always.
It always comes up in elections. And this one, no different.
Every time.
You've got Trump, who wants to just completely overhaul the entire system.
Blow it up.
And then you've got Harris, who wants to, work with what we've got and make it better.
Right. Build on it.
And that back and forth, they had really brought that divide into focus.
Definitely a stark contrast.
And let's not forget about those comments he made early on, praising Putin's invasion of Ukraine as genius.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how do you come back from that?
Right. Those are some tough words to walk back.
Yeah, not a good look. And speaking of not a good look, the post-debate analysis really honed in on that social media post.
Which one?
Where Trump was talking about prosecuting people who cheated in the election.
Oh, boy.
Even the ABC anchors kind of seemed taken aback by that one.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a pretty concerning statement, especially considering, what happened on January 6th.
Right. Like a direct threat.
It feels like a threat.
To anyone who opposes him.
To anyone who opposes him, exactly. And it plays into that whole narrative he's pushing about the rigged system.
Right, undermining democracy.
Which could have some really serious consequences.
Oh, yeah.
As we head into this election.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about the big picture stuff, the leadership styles as key issues. But what about those smaller moments?
Right, the ones people remember.
Yeah, the quips, the gaffes, those things that'll be, trending on social media.
The sound bites.
Exactly. So what stuck out to you?
Well, there's that whole thing with Harris trying to dance around the fracking question.
Oh, yeah. She did not want to answer that directly.
Not at all. And then you've got Trump just repeating that line about China paying Biden millions of dollars.
Right. Even with no evidence to back it up.
But it gets people talking. You know?
Exactly. Those little sound bites, they take on a life of their own.
For sure. It's all about the narrative.
It really is. Well, this deep dive was packed with those moments.
Oh, yeah. So much to unpack.
Quotable moments, stark contrasts.
It really highlights the state.
It does. This election is important.
Hugely important.
And as we, absorb all of this, I keep coming back to this question.
What's that?
How do we navigate this world where it feels like facts just don't matter as much anymore?
Right. It's all about emotion.
It's really concerning, and it makes you wonder, what happens next?
It's a big question.
It is, and it's one we're all going to have to grapple with as we move forward.